Hello, my name is Ted Ragg from Rawlins Academy, and I've been asked to present to you how we attempt to keep music engaging here. We've used musical futures from its outset, and it's a big part of our philosophy. I will look briefly at the curriculum and then a project we spent all of Year 8 on, which has had positive results, as we've more than doubled the amount of pupils who have opted onto a Year 9 course that will start with an Arts Award and then move on to GCSE in Year 10. Firstly, our situation, which I guess will correspond with many. A compacted Key Stage 3, meaning we have less time to engage and get it right, coupled with an increase in class sizes equaling less teacher time. Heavy traffic at Key Stage 4 has meant inconsistent numbers choosing GCSE, and of course the knock-on effect at post-16. Then we have a decreasing amount of take-up for traditional instruments, although the so-called rock and pop instruments are maintained and healthy. So at the risk of being shouted down by the cries of dumbing down, giving them what they want, we run a curriculum that is rooted in the informal and practical. Why? Well, we've got 1 hour a week to teach 30 plus pupils, which over 2 years means roughly 2 to 2.5 hours per student. And whole class teacher-led performance, whilst invigorating and exciting, is hardly maintainable for physical and mental health, and for monitoring individual progression. We use a lot of off-the-peg resources these days with no shame. There are some great websites out there. Tweak them to fit. Here are a few of our most used. We've always used Musical Futures ideas, and the Just Play series are ideal for starting off at Year 7. Just Play was inspired in turn by Little Kids Rock, which has an enormous supply of resources. Get your cultural capital in with BBC 10 pieces, again tweaked to fit. And for an alternative to singing pop songs, we turn now and again to Friday afternoons for some alternative and quirky contemporary songs. We use technology wherever we can to hold engagement with pupils. I have used Edmodo for years now, and although many other platforms are now available, I continue with it for its ability for storing resources, keeping in touch with pupils, and embedding video. It also has an app, and don't tell anyone, when appropriate, students can use their mobiles to access the resources away from a computer. Also great for homework. We record their work on a tablet and upload to a closed YouTube account. This is then embedded directly to the pupils involved. They really enjoy seeing and hearing themselves perform, without the embarrassment of a whole class watching, although those that want to perform or need to have their excellent work shared can do so. The verbal feedback received can help the pupils contextualise their progression, and many fascinating and open dialogues can emerge. As they are engulfed in books and target feedback paperwork across Key Stage 3, they're more likely to involve and engage themselves in an alternative format. We use technology for peer assessment. It can have its drawbacks, but we encourage pupils to actively and honestly say where they are at, with a Google form response to 3 very simple levels of achievement, which they can then show in a handy set of graphs and diagrams. I don't know if they're still doing this, but Pupil Progress were offering a free Key Stage 3 tracker, which looked a lot better than mine. The pupils enjoyed to see how their playing skills join up, and you can create an end-of-term report too, but obviously we didn't get that this year. We use technology to help us get round everybody. This year we decided to split our increased class sizes, sometimes up to 33, into 2 distinct but linked activities, performing and composing, enabling us not to have to purchase more resources and put the emphasis on independent work. It was a great success on the whole, resulting in increased uptake, although sadly we won't know the full effect because of school closure. So pupils were organised into bands to perform the 4 chords that they'd learnt in Term 1. This could be jams in different orders, and eventually songs. The rest of the groups worked on creating their own loops in Ableton using the push devices to create a song with the explicit direction that although a creative act, this was also about live and improvised performance. The bit that we didn't get to was putting the instruments and the push together to create bands with instruments and technology to perform cover versions and their own songs. Oh well, we'll try this next year. Finally, I think it's important to show pupils that what they're doing is relevant. The hardware and software that they are using is used by professionals. Live Lounge and Glastonbury clips are great for this. You can also show them that the traditional instruments are also sounds that are part of all music. A bugbear of mine is that while we keep being told to engage boys with tech and DJing equipment, we forget to show girls that all instruments are available for performance. And finally, make the technology that you have available after school, as well as your clubs and ensembles. Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5 students with more experience and skills than me enjoy sharing their expertise and act as role models. Well, that's what we do. As ever, it needs tweaking every year to fit and suit, but I hope you have found this useful. Thanks for listening.